California, just saying the name makes people cringe. A state some want to see break off into the ocean. A place harshly judged for the actions of a few. California, a land of extremes, for better or worse. Where the natural beauty leaves you in awe. A home to unique flavors and diversity. California, somewhere you really need to judge for yourself in person. What is this? It's supposed to be warm in California. Oh yeah, it is a brisk but beautiful morning out here. Well, good morning. My name's Ben. Rebecca's still getting ready inside. And before I get too deep into this video, we have a total of over 35 years of living in California. So we're from Alaska now, but we love the place and we do reserve the right to talk a little bit of trash about it. But the topic of today's video is gonna be California. It sucks in many ways. Don't get me wrong, but then you got places like this. This does not suck at all. And the region where we're at now is called the Eastern Sierra. And this portion of it has a lot of geothermal activity. And it's also a spot with really good cell phone service. So we can work from our home on wheels, free camping, nice, beautiful views, hot springs, which is where we're heading next. Seriously, California does suck, but there are a lot of things that do not suck about it. And today we're gonna bring you along through the course of our life here and just have a variety of talking points to convince you that, hey, this place really is not all that bad.
Good morning, I'm Rebecca. I hear you've already been introduced this morning, but point number one about California is that it is a land of extremes. So the best and the worst and everything in between.
Well, that is geographically accurate as well, because as the lower 48 goes, Mount Whitney over there, Death Valley over there. Extremes, the highest and lowest points in the lower 48. That's very impressive. And the geography, the rest of the state, is fascinating as well, even from north to south.
These hot springs are some of the best and some of our favorite places in the state, for sure.
Look at this pool here. Sunrise soak in the hot springs. We're not the first people to soak today. There's another person camping here, and when I first came out, he was on his way down, so we gave a little COVID courtesy and let him have the pool to, well, that's probably better. Let him have the pool to himself, which actually worked in our favor because these things have a valve. And a lot of times, somebody like the night before will mess with the valve. And in this case, it was cold and low on water. But this is the highly scientific valve. The valve is actually wide open now and leaking out of the boot. So there really is no formal adjustment because even with this valve closed, it leaks and then all the water leaking out of the boot, it's just fiddle with it until it feels right. Okay, before I get in, how's it feel?
It's a wee bit on the hot side. I'd turn that valve down a little bit.
It really would be nice if there's some more scientific measure here. But with the way it all leaks, it's just kind of fuss with it, make small adjustments, wait a half hour, make another adjustment. I have to say, not all places in California are as Instagram worthy as this. Yeah, there are some dumps here. Well, that's also one of the points that I'd really like to get across in this video. No matter where you live, there are good things, bad things, good areas, bad areas. It doesn't matter. You just need to roll with it and search out the awesomeness. Still too hot?
Yeah, like my heart kind of gets going, so I have to get out and cool down. Normally you can sit in this tub for like a half hour and never get out, but this morning it's a little toasty.
But still, nothing beats having a hot cup of coffee in a hot springs at sunrise. We're gonna enjoy our soak. Catch up with you in a bit. Welcome back to the inside of our camper. It is toasty warm in here. Thank you so much to our little diesel heater. This thing is amazing. Now it's time to get rid of a couple elephants in the room. Okay, first thing to clear up. We are not independently wealthy, rich people just traveling around. We are, I guess the modern word would be working age digital nomads. There's a lot of people like us out there traveling around, and California is one of our favorite places, hence why we are here now. But most of us people out here have a lot of different hustles, small businesses, temporary jobs, just all kinds of diversification to make pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters add up to that buck that we need to travel. And we also have a course on how to become location independent if you are interested in that as well. But we hustle a lot, and it may look like we're living the dream, and we're living our dream, but more accurately, we are working the dream. Okay, next thing to clear up. Let's just jump right into it. Politics. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I will never visit California because of, I'm not even going to give them the honor of giving them their name. But you know what the name is, and that's the whole everything that people hate about California. But I'm going to tell you, no matter what state you live in, you go to that Capitol building, there are the same amount of corrupt people, politicians in your state that this state has. So the one thing I can tell you, hands down, do not let them win. And the way you let them win is not visiting amazing places like this. And you know, when you do hold off on visiting California, really the people that you hurt are going to be a lot of the small businesses, the campgrounds, the restaurants, the tourist shops, the mom and pop places. So do not let politics steer you away from visiting California. So before we jump into a work session that we aptly call Computer Club, I want to share a funny story with you. Yesterday, I'm sitting right here at my desk. Rebecca's holding the camera now, but she was directly opposite of me in the dinette, and these young ladies come to visit the hot springs. I'm sitting here. I can't help to see. I was not being a pervert, but this one girl comes in and literally right through the window just cops a squat and pees right outside of the camper. I did not even have to look to see it. It was just right there in my vision, and it is hilarious. But when you're at hot springs, stuff like that is loosely to be expected. But seriously, how could she not know that somebody would be in here and she's bearing her butt to the world? Okay, it's time to prepare our one big meal of the day. And this is a good opportunity to talk about food in California. There is quite a bit of culture when it comes to California food, but there's also a lot of freshness. Perfect example would be we stocked up on produce at the nearest big town when we crossed the state line. It's affordable, very, very fresh. A couple of my favorites that you're gonna have to try if you visit California would be an authentic carne asada burrito from one of the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week joints in San Diego. And they do even extend up towards LA. But I say San Diego because they make a very special thing called a carne asada burrito. What's special about this is that it is just one log of carne asada, pico de gallo, guacamole wrapped up in a flour tortilla. It is amazing. The taco sauce packets, you could almost drink them. They taste so good. You just kind of pour it over each bite. The problem lies roughly around Orange County. They start sticking rice and beans inside the burritos. Don't go there. That is not very authentic. That's just like cheap filler. If you do get selective, you can find authentic carne asada burritos in other parts of the state. But generally speaking, San Diego area, you're going to find the best ones. You might also be surprised to find that California has some clam chowder Dare I say, it would rival what you find in the Northeast, and we've been to both. So in Pismo Beach, Splash Cafe, is that what it's called? Yep, that is not to be missed. And the best part also, they sell it frozen so you can even take it home. Okay, I'm not going to be able to talk about every single culinary delight in the state, but I want to throw in the fact that California has some of the best wine country in the world. We've done a handful of tastings all across the state, and you will not be let down if you, I'm going to suggest, rent a limo, get an Airbnb, have a designated driver so you can really let loose and enjoy yourself with friends, and maybe easily visit 5-6 wineries before you actually get too sauced where you really are not enjoying the wine anymore. Well, Mexican culture is obviously very big in California, especially down south. And one of the nice little delicacies is tajin. It's pretty much chili powder, salt, and lime. All right, and I already have tried some of this cantaloupe, so I know it is amazing. But you use this stuff as very versatile, but I like it on fruit salads. But it just gives it a nice little added Mexican flavor. Yes, very good. Well, now it's time to continue with dinner, and we're going to be, well, nothing's falling out, cooking outside today. So there's a bunch of goodies in here. Let's get them out. Table set. Not quite ready. That's more level. And a trusty little barbecue. And the box of goodies with propane, spatula, fake fire log. By the way, those are quite handy to have. Yeah, and just stuff to cook with.
Tonight, I'm in charge of ambiance. So I made us a drink. Okay, I poured it out of a can and put a lime on top. And I got some music going. I don't know who wouldn't love a place where you can stand outside in the middle of winter and get your groove on and barbecue. One of the things we love to do here in California is to get carne asada. You can get it at the local market, like a Safeway or a Mercado. But basically, it is a type of steak, thin steak, and has all sorts of delicious seasonings on it. So if you're wondering what we're talking about when we say carne asada, it's basically like steak chopped up with seasonings on it, wrapped up in a burrito.
It's good.
Delicious.
Okay, last chunk. And I need to wash my hands. Okay, these are cooking nicely. So, Mexican food, yeah, it's a big thing here in California, especially southern, but you're also robbing yourself out of an amazing experience if you do not go south of the border to Tijuana, Baja California. Everything is, yeah, the Mexican food is good here. It's a million times better down there. And I also want to say, like, Californians have a hard time pronouncing Tijuana properly. Everybody seems to say it Tijuana. And when that gets said, Mexicans start looking around for their aunt. It's Tijuana. Maybe not so Juana, but it's Tijuana. And yeah, simple day trip across the border. You can grab some good food, or dare I say, take a drive to wine country, or even all the way further down. You can pet baby whales, camp on beaches. It is a paradise.
One of my absolute favorite things about California is that you never get bored. It has the desert, like where we are right now, high desert. It also has mountains and temperate rainforests. All the way over to the Pacific Coast Highway, you can spend days exploring coastline. So you're never going to get tired or bored or see the same thing. And it's amazing that so many different climates are encompassed in one set of borders.
Yeah, we're in California. Metal straw. In case you didn't know, there are some actual counties and places in California where you cannot get a plastic straw with your meal. sign of the times, but California is definitely very progressive when it comes to that. The carne asada is just doing its thing here, but Rebecca spoke about extremes. California has some extreme cities, and keep in mind, a city is a city no matter what state it is. You're gonna have a certain characteristic to it, and it is almost very true that 90% of the people tend to live in 10% of the area. So mass gatherings of humans, it's just going to be a unique place. So don't judge California based off of the cities. Judge it off of the other 90% of the land, which is absolutely beautiful. Uh-oh, a little burnt. That's okay, it's texture. You know, the funny thing about cutting up carne asada is that it's best done on a giant wooden cutting board where you can just pulverize it. Not a shaky, uneven on 3 of the 4 leg lifetime table, but it's all about making do, and this smells great.
Another thing about California is the assumption that it's expensive. And while yes, real estate is expensive and fuel is expensive, there are some things that are very affordable here. Ben already mentioned the produce. You can go absolutely crazy at the farmer's market or grocery store, and it is really good produce that you're getting on the cheap. Another thing, wine is really cheap here, and I learned to drink wine in college in California, so I am the queen of like the $2 chuck from Trader Joe's. Although truthfully, you can go to a winery here and get a bottle for $8 that will knock your socks off. So as far as like places to stay and stuff like that, if you're out in big cities, then yeah, it's gonna be pricey. Probably not any more so than you would spend in Florida though, or Arizona at some of those resorts. And there's a lot of places to stay on the cheap, like BLM land. So don't let that be a deterrent for sure. I've been put in charge of getting the fixins ready, and I'm gonna tell you something really funny about my husband. He goes on and on about how the perfect burrito has to only have meat and guacamole and pico de gallo. But then, when we make burritos at home, he wants beans and cheese. Go figure.
Never rice.
But never rice, he says. Yes, that's sacrilege. Well, burritos are just a different type of sandwich. You put whatever you want in them, make them taste however you want, and then eat them.
Salud. It really does not get much better than this. It's a beautiful day in the Eastern Sierra.
How do you say bon appetit in Spanish?
I don't know. Okay. I know enough, but not everything. Okay, that is a wrap for dinner and for this video. One closing thought is that California is a great place for the adrenaline junkie. There's no shortage of fast motorsports, extreme physical tests. Water sports, exactly. And then there's a helicopter that flies over our head. But hey, it's California. That sucks. Really?
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Ugh.
You shouldn't come here.
Nope.
All right, well, if you enjoyed this, it's kind of serious but yet satirical and sarcastic video, hit that subscribe button because we'll make more, I guess.
Probably all around the world.